Minecraft in real life. Hello, it is Brian, and believe it or not, it has been 3 years. 3 years of my channel. I looked it up, and February 19th, 2011 was a day that I created a YouTube channel and uploaded Minecraft Exploration and Tactics, episode number 1, the nostalgia. And so I decided, in celebration of 3 years of having the channel, I was going to do some reminiscing and just kind of thinking back and talking about all the old series and different things that I've done. And so my plan is, hopefully I'll manage to kind of stick to the plan. Basically, over the next 3 days, kind of like have a day where I talk about each of the first 3 years of doing my channel, and then possibly also some stuff where we'll look forward as well. But first off, I just want to say thank you to all of you, both for, just watching the videos as well as commenting and, just being here. It's definitely more fun to do this when you have an audience. And so I appreciate all of you and hope that I've managed to both entertain and inform all of you guys over the past few years. But yeah, I guess let's go ahead and jump right in to 2011, which was my first year on YouTube and first year of doing Minecraft videos. 2011 was all about Minecraft for my channel, and I actually had a number of different series, the main ones being, of course, Minecraft Exploration and Tactics, that started it all and is still running today, now in its 6th season. I did a modified 404 challenge. For those of you who don't know, back in Minecraft beta, in the days when they introduced seeds, the world seeds there was a seed number 404, that was a very interesting world where near the spawn point you could break some gravel and it would open up a giant cavern that went down, almost down to the lava layer, basically right from the beginning. And so the challenge was you'd gather some resources from up above the surface during the day and then open up the cavern and go try to live down there starting the first night and just try to stay down there for the rest of your life. And so that was a fun series and a fun challenge that a bunch of people did way back then. In 2011, I don't know if Etho really invented the idea, but he definitely popularized the idea of Minecraft speed challenges. And so I started doing Etho's speed challenges as well as inventing some of my own. And speed challenges, I've actually got multiple playlists for Minecraft speed challenges because that's been a playlist that I've had going for more than 2 years. And apparently if you have playlists with videos older than 2 years, YouTube doesn't let you add videos to them. So I've got like a speed challenges playlist and a more speed challenges playlist. But I've played other people's challenges and invented a number of my own. Those have been a ton of fun. In 2011, I also played my first CTM map. The first CTM I ever played, Complete the Monument, was Good's CTM map. He created a 404 challenge kind of inspired CTM map that also seemed to have taken a few things from Legendary, because this was the days after he and BWO had first played Legendary. And yeah, that was, I guess, anyone who's first getting into Complete the Monument maps, it's always a rough time. I remember having a rough time with that map, but it was a lot of fun and a nice way to kind of break into the genre. And towards the end of that year, that's when the Race for the Wool first started happening. And I got together with some other folks who you guys know, the KGBs, Kurt, Gleason, Brian, and Schism. We had put together a Race for the Wool team, and so we'd done some practices together, kind of against each other, and done some other competition kind of stuff with that. And yeah, for 2011, those were the main types of things that I have on my channel. I'll probably have playlists linked in the description and maybe even annotations in these videos to go back and take a look at some of those. But exploration and tactics in particular, there is a whole ton that I could be very nostalgic about. And so I think for kind of the second half of this video, I'm going to be talking a bit about that. And so for those of you who want to hear the nostalgia, obviously you can keep watching. And for those of you who don't, you can come back tomorrow and learn about 2012, again, if I stay on schedule. But before I get into talking more about exploration and tactics nostalgia, I just wanted to mention that later today I will have another video airing on the channel that's also good as a 3-year anniversary kind of celebration, which is a Spelunky video. I've had a lot of Spelunky lately, but this Spelunky video is kind of special because I'm going to get my high score ever, and it is much higher than my previous high score. And the video also has like excitement and hilarity and a crazy ending, and I think will just be all around entertaining. And so maybe even if you're not someone who usually watches Spelunky, if there's one Spelunky video you want to watch, it might be this one later, because I'm finally getting good at the game, and as a result, a lot of things really turn out exciting. So I just wanted to go ahead and kind of hype that up a few hours beforehand. But in any case, yeah, now I just want to spend a little bit more time being nostalgic about exploration and tactics, and I don't need my notes for that because I can just kind of think back to it. Um, yeah, a lot of people, if you go back and you look at the beginning of their channels, it's the case that they didn't necessarily kind of originally start with a particular thing that then became their thing. And then there's some other people who do, and I'm one of the people who did, because basically when I started the channel, I had seen a bunch of other Minecraft videos that talked about, surviving your first night and little Let's Play kind of things. And I knew I wanted to do something like that, but I knew I wanted to kind of like give it my own twist. And so I just came up with the idea. What are my favorite things in the game? One was exploration, both underground and above ground. I love the terrain generator in Minecraft, and so I wanted that to be one theme of the series. And the other was tactics. I like trying to be good at the game or whatever, and had watched other people play, and I played a bit on my own and wanted to give strategies for, not only surviving your first night, but like assaults on a dungeon and how to get from place to place and manage your inventory and all kinds of different things. And so I went into the series idea or whatever, knowing what I wanted to do, and just started doing it. I think I've mentioned it once before, but the exploration and tactics world that I ended up playing through, I made a note of it somewhere here. I think it was like 136 episodes in the first playlist between beta 1.2 and Minecraft beta 1.7. That series span. That was the world with the sky rail for all of you guys who have been watching since way back then, or who maybe are newer subscribers to the channel but went back and watched some old episodes. But basically, that world was not actually the first world that I ever tried to record. I had actually tried to start recording exploration and tactics a few days before that ever aired, and had decided up front that I was going to record at least 3 episodes of anything before I uploaded anything to YouTube, because I figured I'd have some problems or need to work out some kinks. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. I had some problems. Believe it or not, unlike today, Minecraft back then used to have some bugs. And so I'd started a world and started recording things. And there was just, in beta 1.2, there was just a problem with this particular world file. And every time I would play it for like 2 or 3 minutes, like that world would crash. And I had other worlds that worked just fine. And so the original what would be exploration and tactics world didn't work out. And so I ended up just scrapping those first 3 episodes, started a complete new world, and started recording exploration and tactics again then. And it ended up turning out great. Went for hundreds of episodes, and in that world, and ended up being a better world than the first world, because for those of you who don't know, back then, this was in the days I started playing in beta 1.2, and beds were not introduced until beta 1.4. And so your original spawn point, like that was your spawn point. Every time you died, you were going to respawn in that location. And so if you wanted to, set up a first base and different things, like it was always going to be near your spawn point. And I ended up with a way better spawn point that was kind of like on a nice beach next to some mountains and things or whatever, as compared to my first world, which, I don't know, the terrain around there just wasn't as nice. And so I kind of lucked into that in terms of, the false start with Minecraft crashing and different kinds of things then. But yeah, as the series went on, I think it was somewhere around maybe like episode 37, like I did my first ever kind of montage, or looking back at all the episodes that I did and making kind of like a summary of like the best tactics that I had showed off throughout the series. And of course, that was the world that I eventually built the sky rail in, because I just loved to explore. And as I explored the world, I would basically cave underground for resources and build a rail line. There was a giant mountain, and I started the rail line up the mountain, and it kind of went down, and then just 20 or 30 blocks up in the sky, I just built a rail line. And as a result, I could travel back and forth across the kind of length of my world. And yeah, it was a ton of fun. And I think also, even in 2011, was finally when 1.8 came out, and I think like the adventure update and some of those things kind of started, and so I ended up starting a new playlist and a new Minecraft world then. But when I think about nostalgia and just kind of like thinking back to the beginning of the channel, I always think of that original exploration and tactics world. And I can still kind of like walk through all the different places I went there and some of the most exciting caves and things like that. But yeah, ever since back then, like I kind of like knew what I wanted to do with that series. When the 404 challenge came out or whatever, I had watched a few other people do that, and this is also again back in Minecraft beta, and there was no brightness control that you could turn up or down, and so everybody's videos in the 404 challenge were really dark because you were underground, and the original 404 challenge had the constraint that you weren't allowed to use torches. You could just like have the lava buckets and lava lights, as well as there were three pumpkins up on the surface that you could turn into jack-o'-lanterns for kind of like temporary lighting. But as a result, everybody's videos were really dark, and so I decided I was going to modify the 404 challenge and get rid of the no torches constraint so that I could actually light things up and it would make for better video in YouTube. And so even back then, I was taking like other people's ideas and starting to tweak them. And as we move forward into 2012 and 2013 and future videos, I want to talk about, yeah, some of the other ideas I've had for interesting series in Minecraft, because I think that's one of the things that sets my channel apart is just, while I do a lot of the standard things that other people do, I also both put a fresh twist on other people's ideas and have come up with a few of my own really ingenious ideas that I think have made for interesting videos. But we'll talk about some of those more in a future video. In any case, happy 3 years. Here's to who knows how many more. I have no idea what the future holds for me and for YouTube, but I'm still enjoying doing it. And so I guess if I stay on schedule, I'll be back with you guys tomorrow to talk about the year 2012 and my second year of YouTube. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.